Hello everybody, and welcome to Wheel Trouble's Let's Play Myst 3. This is episode 3, and we are in the Voltaic Age, and just arrived here as a matter of fact. Sorry about that, I'm recording this a little early. I had the day off and figured I'd get a start, hence this lovely baritone you're hearing now when I'm normally supposed to be a tenor. But I'm sure as the video progresses, I will come back to my natural tenor state soon. This age is one of those where I really start to question Atris' parenting here. There's no guardrails, and I've worked on some places where the walkways were like this, and I can honestly say it's terrifying. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and explore this way first. And I have done pre-playthroughs of this just to make sure that I'm not wasting your guys' time. It's coming back to me slowly. The knowledge of who I am, how long I've been trapped here. So much of it is blurry, whole blocks of time still floating in the fog that eats my mind. But if I concentrate, I get pieces of it back. It was the dream that first helped me remember. I was lying in the reeds near the tusk. I don't know for how long or how I get there. I am staring at the sky, seeing a man grow out of the cliff, first his head, then his shoulders. Then his torso. Sunlight rims his body like a halo. I cannot move. I think that death has finally come for me. The man stands on the cliff with a book in his hands, staring down at the lagoon as if something made him sad. I wanted to call out to him, to tell him it was me he's come to find, but my mouth is dry. I can't remember any words, and before I think to stand, he opens his book, puts his hand on the page, and fades to dust. I thought he was a dream. It was only weeks later, weeks later, that I found his swirling book atop the cliff, and when I reached down to grab it, it is real. The fog tried to swallow me, then and there, but I held on to the firm reality of the book, and I did not let it. I did not let the numbness steal my mind. Interesting. And right there, we're back to where we were. And, do apologize for that bobble. Again, it's morning, and the caffeine has not kicked in yet. Okay. At least now we know a little bit about Savidro's past, and as we play through, we'll get to know a little more. And we have a locked door. Guess we'll have to figure that part out. So we can chalk that up as puzzle number 1. Speaking of which, I need to find my notes for this. Here we go. Okay, that looked to be some kind of a power map. Let's see what we have here. Okay, that goes back down. Okay, so we open these flaps. I'm betting this is a water wheel. Makes sense, right? So, go back up, and we're going to turn this here, since that's really the only control we have. And naturally, the water wheel starts turning because the water is now able to flow in. Hence the name Voltaic. We have volts. Okay, and as you see here, you can see the water wheel is now lit up. We have to do something with that central power area in order to start repairing everything around here. And, ooh, what is this? Oh, great. It's a massive pier, and there's no clutch system, so we can't shift it in while the water wheel's running. So we need to run back up, turn the whole mechanism off, and repeat the process. And yeah, even though I didn't play through already, I did get things somewhat out of order. I didn't exactly write down each individual step, so my apologies. Okay, get this water wheel closed. And we shouldn't have to mess with those fins. I think we can leave those alone. So we'll just go push the gear up, reopen the floodgate here, and from that, we should be able to get power to that door and go through it. Just to be safe. And double check our work here, since I obviously screwed up the first time. And the good thing is, this will show you guys that those fins, what the purpose of those fins is. Those are the tines that dig into the water to provide the generation, the power generation. See? Wheel not turning. Another reason we did this is we needed to make sure that that area was going to be dry for us. The last thing we need is this area to be flooded. And by opening the door, we're effectively blocking the water that would be able to fill this hole. So actually that is a two-step process. The tines I didn't need to mess with, though. For those of you doing your own playthroughs and want to see what little corners you can cut for a speed run. Alright, the gear is in place. And we'll open the tines on our way through. Oh no, we won't. We've gotta stop the flow first, then we can mess with the tines. There we go. And unlike the previous two Mysts, where the goal was to kind of follow the plot, well, I guess more like the first Myst, less like the second, where the goal was to follow the plot. This one, the goal, while you are following the plot, you do need to just make it to the linking book at the end of the age. So all of these puzzles are going to be laid out in such a way that solving them is going to be linear. We're going to have to solve them more or less as we approach them. Alright, nice rumbling walkway. And this part's kind of annoying because if we stand in place, we're spinning. There we go. And let's see where this leads. What's this button do?
What's the matter, Agers? Can't remember how things work? Yet you explained this class so well when we first spoke of it in Orion. I want Cirrus and Achenar to learn everything they can, Savitro. First from Amateria, Idana, Voltaic, and finally from Narayan. When my boys come to see your people, I want them to see Narayan's traditions at work, so they can see how civilization can balance an age. Do you know what they did when they finally came to us? You never came back. After class was over, you took your boys away, and you never came back. Cirrus and Achenar did.
Yeah, we can tell he's hot under the collar if you didn't get that already from previous episodes. Can't say as I blame him. That's a long time to be separated from your family entirely. Hence the name of this game, Exile. Sir Snacknar exiled him. And here we have a circuit puzzle. On the left side, we have the ability to move the items to the left. On the right, they'll move to the right. Realistically, you only need to go one direction. Please, no music puns. I'd like to forget that band exists. Okay, so we've got that first one lining up. Second line's up. Let's see what we can do down here. One of these will work, I promise. There we go. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next panel and do the same thing. Basically, we're going to walk around, and I think all of these are actually linked. So all you're really doing when you're going from panel to panel is checking your work on the previous panel. And for those of you that don't remember the tiny numbering system, that does come in handy, though it's not necessary. For example, that was 2. We have 3 here. And you'll see that it's not quite lining up. And again, trying to make everything go in the same direction. There we go. All of that lines up. And this is a royal mess. Okay, there we go. That lines up. And let's go ahead and here we'll have 5. So close. Close on that one, only it didn't line up the bottom tines. There's not much that can line up on the bottom tines of this one. So, see if there's any others that'll match up along here. If I don't find any others, I'll settle and start messing with the middle. I guess keeping count of the options would have been nice, but I didn't want to have to do all that sketching. And I won't do all that sketching. This is one of those puzzles that goes fast enough that, honestly, trial and error is just fine. Yeah, I'm thinking there's only one match. I guess there were 2. Okay. Okay, so this is the one we'll try to grid up to. Off. There we go. Okay, so we'll adjust this top one to be straight down across the board, roughly. There we go. That'll work. Okay, and we're going to cycle back to 1, since nothing happened. But as you can see, all of these line up to each other to create a good, solid path. Nothing goes to error. Here we are back at 1. We can see the mess we've made here. And again, we're just going to minor tweak our way around until something actually works. Literally, this is one of those puzzles that when you get it right, it just clicks into place. See? Clicks into place. That is one gigantic fuse. Or is that a transformer? I didn't major in electronics, so on that note, if someone wants to correct me and actually give us a nifty little diagram, you're welcome to. And there's that spinning I told you about, as I try to keep the mouse steady. We'll just run across. Quick glance at the circuit panel, and we have power going to the other two devices. Not quite the fourth, but that's okay. We'll get to that. So now to go and see what we can mess with over here. Still can't open that door, in spite of the fact that we have power going to it. So let's follow this walkway into the terrifying section. Although I must admit, if someone turned this into a virtual reality game, I would be so very, very happy. Speaking of which, I still do not have funding for the Oculus Rift yet. If any of you want to pitch in, just let me know, and I'll be happy to send you my PayPal information, because I would love to have that, and I'm having trouble talking the supervisors into letting me have them. All the components, I mean, not just the VR headset, but the actual controls too. I have an Xbox control, which would work okay, but really, do we want to do that? But yeah, you see what I mean? There's no handrails. This thing's basically just shoulder width, and he expected two kids, who we now know to be, you know, completely mental basket cases, to walk safely. They actually do kind of explain this parenting faux pas in the Uru series, which we will cover, and when we get there, we get there. Okay, so we've got this little Steam section here that we're going to need to puzzle our way through, and for the sake of brevity, I do have it written down. I just need to remember how to work it. That wasn't it. Let's go up the ladder, make sure I didn't miss anything here. For those of you wondering, just off on our left is an elevator. We're going to go ahead and take that down just to see if there's any switches that I failed to hit that need to be used before I can mess with that vent at all. And I love this elevator system. It's very pretty to look at, but also it would be very functional in real life too. With a screw going down, it actually would naturally slow your descent. And just because of the angle not being as steep, it's not a vertical drop as far as what the mechanism is doing. It's really cool. And nothing happens. Oh no, okay. The iris opens. And closes. Okay. So there's something else we need to have done before we can really start messing with that. So back up we go. And then back to that Steam puzzle to see what we can figure out. And of all the puzzles in this age, the valve puzzle's the only one where I actually had to write down the solution. I did figure it out, but yeah, I had to write it down, just because it's that big of a pain in the neck. So if it seems like I'm racing through some of these, that's because I did take the time, and I do have a scratch pad full of notes. Which is also how I am able to get those little 4 marble things on the compass as quickly as I do too. I have those all written down on a nice little chart. Okay. Let's follow this path, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Nope. Can't get across at all, that's actually broken. Okay. Is it just me, or does this kind of look like a ladder? I'm guessing we need to find a way to inflate that. This is steam after all, so it might be a gigantic balloon filler. Now that we're across, we can take another look just outside the iris. And I don't know what the official name is for that. I just call it the iris because it functions like one. And see, here's the fun part. He expected his kids to actually cross this tube. This is part of his lesson age. Savidro reset these, saying that Atris had to retake his lessons. There you go. So Atris was intentionally putting his kids in rather adrenaline-inducing situations. Okay. Down we go. And we are on the other side of that locked room, so we can finally remove this stupid lock that's been in our way. Much better. And we can assume that this is geothermal energy. The easy way to mess with the mechanism is now gone, because it looked like there was a path going through the middle. Let's see what we did here. Okay, we lowered the geothermal level to where we could actually come in. What does this do? Okay. So across moves the gear over to that side and back. Okay. I'm guessing we need to go up. Okay. That brought us up one level. Now let's go ahead and go across. You can kind of see a neat little painting just off on our right here. And more of it becomes visible, obviously, as we move that gear away. Oh good, there's a vent up here. I'd hate to think that Atris was trying to kill his sons through heat exhaustion and asphyxiation. Time to go up again. Can't go that way, so pull the ball down. Okay. And the floor is lava. Okay. Don't quite know what that button did, but it did something. And lava is now blocking our entry there, so we're going to have to go back down. And we still have to deal with the lava. Well, I didn't see a button, so let's just assume that the whole system is smart. Oh good, it is. Okay. And through the nice little teardrop-shaped door. Seems to be a reoccurring design theme. We'll just call it Atris Angst Phase. Okay, so can't really control it there. Guess if we go down, set the gear to the other side, we might be able to pull it up all the way, since we can't go across the middle. I hope. back into that room and try spinning that gear just twice in a row. And again, I'm just hoping this works. Because, like I said, I only wrote down the solutions to the valve puzzle. This one I'm going completely by memory. Okay, there's one up. So we have heat in the room again. Maybe that's all we needed, just once. Alright. And now let's go see if we can mess with that valve puzzle. Since that seems to be the last one we really have to worry about. Oh, good, we actually have noises going here. And we are just one tick below the line. That red line's where we need to be. Okay. Oh good, now we can go up. Alright. And there's 3 levels to this, and that's what took me so long. Initially, I only thought there were the 2 levels, and trying to get right on that red line just drove me up the wall. The way it works is we're going to need all the power we can get to go up here. And yes, this dial goes counterclockwise, FYI. We're going to use all the power that we can to get up to the 3rd level. And you can kind of see as we closed each valve how much each valve is worth. So up here, all these valves are currently open. Turning one gives us 1. So we're going to leave 1 closed, go down. And we're going to open up 2 here. And each one here you've got 1... Sorry, I'm not looking down for this part. And if you just count the ticks, you can see that was roughly, what, 4 or 5, something like that. And again, just backtrack and count the ticks. I'm going off of my notes. And then down here, we're going to open all of the valves. Open all the things. And again, if you really want, you can sit and count the ticks. Just slow down the video, repeat it as much as you need to. But as you can see, that's roughly about 10. There we go, we're pretty much on the line. So we didn't open all of them, we opened 3 of them. Okay, and then we'll hit that valve. And this is a cutscene, so as you can see, we've done something right. The balloon is now inflating. And we can't get over there. So what's going to happen? Okay, the dirigible is starting to move. Wonderful. Okay, so now we'll go back to that elevator and open the iris. And with any luck, that'll float to the next checkpoint. And we're going to walk this dirigible from checkpoint to checkpoint. Until we can get to the last area, wherever the book's hidden. And again, that's one of the nice things about this, is that the puzzles are very linear. The whole goal is, in each age, is simply get from point A to point B. Total opposite of today's modern world, open world design, right? And don't get me wrong, open world can be fun, but in puzzle games, directional nudges are appreciated. Not required, but makes it a lot easier than games like, well, even Abduction to some degree was still linear in nature. Okay, and nice little change. Okay, so the path has all of a sudden become a one-way trip. So, nowhere else to go but forward. And enjoy the cutscene. It really is lovely. It'd be a nice reward for everything they went through. And imagine the ability to travel to different planets just simply by writing. It would be really cool, and it's a neat spin on the whole concept of books and that adage of books taking you places. That reading rainbow thing. Okay, there was our start point, so it seems we're going back to where we started, in a manner of speaking. Okay, hit this lever to see what that does. This platform spins, and we have a current connection. Okay, and there's no way to backtrack, but I'm willing to bet that was what that last light was about. Whoa, okay, the island splits. And now you guys understand the importance of that experiment in Jananin with the little floaty things and the electric current. Alright, and seems that the cable is set so that it'll guide the dirigible straight up. Keep all hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. And now we're ridiculously high off the ground, on 2x4 planks, on stilts, on a floating island. Yeah, there's something about this that really makes you wonder if Atris was just, parent of the year. And it gets better. We haven't finished yet. Down this gigantic circular ladder. Open the door. And we have a clue. And a straight drop. And I love how our guy is writing this down. I know that I would be terrified to let go. And looking around, okay, this must be the panel, so we'll click it. Jananin, there we go. Let's go ahead and click. We get this lovely swirling view of Jananin again, and the central tusk, and more of that lovely design. Yes, I will be criticizing that for all of the episodes of this game. I have an incredible fear of heights, and so yeah. Okay, one page brings the book one step closer, so we need to go to the next stage. Ooh, cutscene.
Not so easy, is it, Atris? Running like a rat through a maze, looking for some sign that'll help you save your world. Is it over here? Is it over there? Is it someplace I can't find? Cirrus and Akinar didn't care about saving Narayan. All that talk about fixing instabilities, rewriting the age so that we would be free to live our lives, that was just talk to hide the truth of why they had come. But we believed their lies, Atris. So we abandoned our traditions, forgetting that those traditions were keeping Narayan alive. And when the lattice trees started to die, I followed them here to tell them what they had done. And they laughed. They said they would never fix Narayan. They said that they had already taken everything it had worth saving. So, my dear old friend, Atris, I brought you to this place where your education begins. Find the remaining 2 symbols, and then come see what your boys did to Narayan.
See you guys in episode 4, Wheel Trouble out.